So if you're new to this channel, my name is David Fredrickson. I'm a 51-year-old type 1 diabetic. I am not a doctor. I am more like a mad scientist. I put so many things to the test, whether it be nutrition, supplements, or training programs. If they work for me or not, I'm here to share my knowledge and my experience on everything. So this video is somewhat of a continuation to the 3 top tips that I have for building muscle at home, which you can click the link here if you want to check it out. I want to share with you guys one training technique I've used to build lean muscle at home and in the gym using bodyweight exercises, bands, dumbbells, and a couple of parallel bars. So I don't have much to work with, but I'm gaining when I eat right, losing and maintaining when I eat right. So keep in mind, nutrition is super important along with rest. Like I said, go follow the 3 top tips video and listen to that after this. But let's get into this training technique that I implement into my programs to still grow muscle at home with little weight, body weight exercises, bands, and parallel bars. So this training tip is a secret. No, I'm just kidding. But this training tip will allow you to put increased stress on any given movement. It'll further your hypertrophy gains. It will create a larger metabolic response when you're training, and also create a better neuromuscular connection, aka the mind-muscle connection, which is super important because the mind-muscle connection is when I really started to grow, when I really started to implement techniques like this and really establish a good neuromuscular connection with my muscles, because I was able to actually create more tension on the muscle or muscles that I was trying to grow. Now, before I get into the training technique, I want to go over the actions and actually what they create. And there's 3 different actions. The first action is the concentric action. Now, this is the shortening of the muscle and the contraction. This creates more increased motor unit recruitment and muscle fiber recruitment through the fast twitch muscle fibers, which is very important because that's where a lot of strength and muscle size is going to come from. The second one is the isometric hold at the bottom or the top or anywhere in between as it's under tension. Now, this action as well increases motor unit recruitment and also muscle fiber recruitment. So very important. The third one is the eccentric portion of the lift. The eccentric portion of the lift is actually when you're lowering a weight down, the lengthening of the muscle. Now, the eccentric portion of the lift is super important because that's where most of the muscle damage is going to be created. Now, muscle damage, I like to say muscle trauma, okay? Because muscle damage is not the only way that we grow muscles. We grow muscles through muscle trauma. So there is some sort of damage that occurs, but then there's also things that happen to the satellite cells that communicate with the myofibril in the muscle, and I get all technical, but just so you know, when someone's spouting about tearing down your muscle and that's how way it grows, there's a lot more to that, and they've done tons of studies that muscle damage itself, as far as tearing of the muscle, is not the actual best way to try to grow your muscles, and it's not the way that muscles grow fully. So it's only just a small portion of it. The rest of it is the myosin and the actin fibers swelling, satellite recruitment, activating more functions within the body to deliver proteins to the muscles. So there's a lot of stuff going on there. So the eccentric portion of the lift is super important because you will get tons of gains from that portion of the lift. And most guys that I see lifting, they bring the weight up and drop it down. Bring the weight up, drop it down, which I get it. When you're a beginner, when you're intermediate, you're just kind of going through the steps, you're trying to learn this stuff, everybody focuses on the contraction because, hey, that's where the power is. That's where you get it going there. And the contraction is super important. Now, this training technique will allow you to take advantage of all the growth factors when you're training at home or in the gym. I mean, if you still go to the gym, this is going to work too, because when I was doing workouts in the gym, this is basically what I used to use. I used to mix it up a lot. My training program was different all the time on lifts. I would lower weights down on the chest press and my strength would increase. But it all depends. Like I said, you have to have your diet in check too. I'm not gonna lie to any of you. This is not an easy thing to do. It's not something you take lightly if you're actually really going out to try to build some muscle. Now, there is a substantial amount of muscle a beginner can get just by lifting, but if you apply this technique, or an intermediate, just by going to just lifting weights, but you will hit the so-called plateau, the adaptation. And this technique actually helps you break through adaptations as well, muscle adaptations. So I'm excited to share this with you guys. Hopefully I'm delivering it well to you guys, because this is what has kept me maintaining muscle and allows me to actually do the same workout over and over, but changing the possible adaptations that could happen, creating more stress here and there by implementing this type of technique in different ways. Now, this technique is called tempo training. And basically, tempo training is actually written down as a 4-digit number, just like this. And the first digit is going to be the eccentric portion of the lift. The second digit is for the isometric bottom under tension portion of the lift. The third digit is for the contraction. And the fourth digit is for the isometric hold at the top under tension. Now, when you're implementing this into your training program, so you're training at home or you're training in the gym, wherever you're doing this, if you're doing bench press, if you're doing push-ups, we'll use push-ups as an example. When you're starting this out though, focus on 2 tempos. And I was just giving you the 4-digit number. None of you guys are probably going to use that. This is more just kind of a rule. And I want to keep this in your head, because when you're training, if this information is in your head as you're doing an exercise, you can slow it down, speed it up, so forth and so on, and really get some great muscle trauma and break through adaptations that are going and occurring on, and also create a better mind-muscle connection, because that, like I said, once you put that key in that keyhole and you switch it with these actions right here, you open that door and it becomes a whole new world of muscle building, strength gains. And like I said, I want to share this with you. And I hope you guys are understanding this, that it doesn't come easy, but I don't want this to be too hard. I'm going to give you an example. You can actually implement this in, let's say, a push-up. Take 2 tempos. Take the eccentric and take the isometric pause at the bottom. And if you're doing push-ups and you want to further your gains on the push-ups, what you do is do a 4 count on the eccentric, which is the lowering phase, pause at the bottom for 3 counts, and push off. I guarantee if you can do 40 push-ups in a row, this is gonna make you only be able to do 20 push-ups. You're gonna see how much more difficult this is. But the key, the big key, the thing I wanna stress on, this is also about breaking through adaptations, creating more stress, but it's also about creating a mind-muscle connection, a better mind-muscle connection. So when you're doing this, on any movement you do, let's say the push-up, when you're doing that eccentric down count of 4, concentrate on every muscle that's being activated as you're slowing down. The chest, the triceps, the rear shoulder girdle there, just everything, concentrate on it. And when you pause for that 2 to 3 seconds, feel all that engaged, and then push off through your palms. So this will totally benefit you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll be back for more. I'm going to keep delivering stuff. There's a lot of stuff that over this quarantine time, I've just been doing home workouts with just what I said as far as that little bit of weight. And there's a lot of stuff that can share with you guys that will help you guys along the way. So subscribe to the channel, like the video. This is Dave. I will see you guys next time.